Hello virtual village hallers, it's Kerry from Mobilates. I'm here for half an hour of gentle, mindful movement. You can do it standing, you can do it sitting on a chair, you can do it sitting on a bed, because we'll make our way to lying down part way through. And that can be lying down on your bed, just take the duvet off. I'm going to be lying down on the floor on the mat. Might help to have a cushion for the second half today. So if you've got a cushion to hand, just makes us extra comfortable. But we're going to start nice and gentle as always, and don't forget you can say hi if you're joining in live. I always like to check, particularly after class, when I can see just that little bit better and see who's joining in. But stand or sit comfortably. You can see I've got my legs just a little bit further apart, and just rest your hands one on top of the other, just on your chest, on the flat part. Soften your belly. That means don't pull it in. We'll do that later. Just let it relax. So now we can breathe in and out through our nose. You can use your mouth if you want to. And it means as you do that, let my elbows flop down. There's room for your diaphragm to move down on the inhale, your lungs to get a little bit more air, and everything just deflates on the exhale. You can close your eyes if you dare, but you don't have to. You can just gaze either into the screen. I can't see you, you can see me, or just gaze into the distance. And then start to, it's almost like stirring, like a circular motion, pushing gently against your skin, against your clothes. And this can be with your breath. It's a calming, soothing sort of move. Really nice. Just encouraging you to let go of anything else that's been going on in the day. Just bringing you right into this moment now. Next time you come down to the bottom, have a little pause. Take it the other way. And if you're listening just to the gentle music, it's a bit of bark. Also helps loosen off the chest muscles, the front. And then let your arms just hang down. If you're sitting, you can let them rest with your palms up on your legs. And then just check your alignment. So I'm going to stand a little further back so you can see the distance here between my feet and legs. So we're going for about hip width. That's the inner hip, the bony bit here, not the outer hip. If you're sitting, it's about 2 fists apart on the knees. Hello, Jean. Nice to see you, or at least see your words. I know you're there. Hiya. Letting your arms hang or rest on your legs. Stand a little taller. Bring your chin back. Open out across here. So when you open out across here, it just brings those shoulders back. Now, whilst I'm standing to the side, we're going to do the smallest pelvic tilts, just dropping the tailbone, so the tailbone of the spine right underneath the bottom. Just dips down like that, lengthening this part of your back. And then it feels like you're tipping forwards, lengthening this part here. Got all my layers on today. So if I stick my hand on the back and on the front, you can just see that movement. What you're trying to avoid is getting a tight arch and any sort of niggly back pain. I've got a bit of a sore lower back at the moment, so definitely I don't need that. So just this lengthening down and this tipping the pelvis this way so your belly comes forwards. And the muscles you use for this, it's not your glutes. Glutes are quite relaxed. It's these lower belly muscles right across here. So not so much up here, just right here. Right where my hand is. And then find your in-between point. So that's neither sort of tipping forwards too much or tucking underneath too much. Somewhere in between. That's it. Feel like there's a little string on the back of the head. I've just pulled it a bit like a Christmas decoration. We're just coming up a little taller. Beautiful. Tuck your chin in. And when you tuck your chin in, you'll feel your extra chin's here, but you're not tipping downwards, still looking ahead. Lovely. Now, keeping this shape here, keeping this openness and that feeling that your shoulders are going back a little, just starting to turn. Okay, Laura, I'll catch you later. Very dedicated. And it's like your head's on a turntable or an icing table for cakes. Chin stays parallel to the floor. That's it. Now bring yourself back to the front. Keep that chin tuck. We're just going to take the tip of our nose down. So I can just see, just sort of here, maybe some of the floor. And then I'm going to take my eyes up. Now you don't want to tip your head far back like that. Heads are heavy. You don't want to put that strain on your neck. Just needs to be a small move. So keeping this fullness under the chin and then the eyes up. Your head goes back slightly, but you're keeping a really nice long giraffe style neck. That's it. And then next time your eyes go down, we'll stay there. And then just letting the head and neck tip to one side and the other on a neck roll. That's it. Now, as you do this, you're aiming to keep the shoulders like a spirit level, just horizontal. If they start doing this, it's often because you're tight on that side. So you might need to do a little more, like double up on a tight side. That's it. And then rolling that back up. Starting some shoulder rolls, one side then the other. That helps you feel if one side is a little stiff, a little sore, and then both. That's it. Oh, this always feels good. Now just resist the temptation to do a bit of that. Don't need any of that. Just keeping it in the shoulders at the moment. That's it. And then back to the neck. Just going to do a little tilt ear towards shoulders. Again, keeping this horizontal feeling, this spirit level. Feel like the back of your head is painting an arc, a rainbow. That's it. And then we're going to put our hands somewhere on the ribs. Could be like this. If that feels like it's making your shoulders and back do that, you could tuck your hands in and do it that way, or just have one hand there. That's fine. We don't want our shoulders like that, so whichever position works for you. And then I want you to aim your breath to these side ribs, also to the back. A little bit is coming to the front, but what we don't want is it all coming to the front and coming forwards. We're trying to get it right round here. So let's take a big breath in through our nose. You can see my hands expanding outwards there. And then as you breathe out, pulling in here. Feeling your ribs going down here under your hands. And then let it all go. We'll do another one like that. Breath in. You can watch my hands go out to the side, see if you can get any movement at all. And then as you breathe in, those hands come down and in. My belly's just pulling back. Let it all go. This is really good if you've had a cough, you've been quite chesty. It really gets the tiny rib muscles, the muscles in between the rib bones. Intercostal muscles is the fancy name. So let's take another breath to the sides and back particularly. That's a big one. Blow it out slowly. Feeling those hands sliding in, down. Feeling that belly pulling back. A little relax, a little jiggle. It's just the same if you're sitting. I'll do the next bit sitting. I'm going to put the hand right over my belly. Just let it be nice and loose. And then I'm going to pull it in a little. Do that breath into the sides again, into these side ribs just like before. And now as you're breathing out, feel those ribs travelling down. Feel your belly almost retreat from your hands like it's trying to pull itself away. And then just wriggle and relax, let everything go soft. Pull your belly back a little. That's it, sit up nice and tall. Breath into the sides. Big expansion. And then blowing out. Feeling this belly almost retracting, like your hand's cold. I don't have to pretend my hand is cold. I was out for a dog walk before this. Little relax. One more like this. Breath in. Retract that belly. And then just hold it. Just keep that belly there. So it's not really pulling in, it's just pulling in gently. And you can come back to standing. And then we're going to get into a bit of movement, just raising the heels. Same if you're sitting, just raise the heels up, like we're going for a walk. Trying to keep those hips pretty steady across the front. We don't want them doing this. Just fairly steady, fairly even. And then you can go a bit faster if you're a bit chilly. Feet aren't leaving the floor, but they can do if you want them to. That's it. This just gets us a little bit warmer. Right, we can make this a little stronger. We can get into a bit of boxing. Now, you can see the body, you can turn a little bit with this. I'll do it to sitting. Nice to blow the breath out as you punch across. You could aim it at something if something's getting you a little annoyed. A bit faster than we normally go in this session, but it's just to get your bodies warm. And then just let that relax. And then if you're sitting, start to slide your hands. If you're standing, just start to rotate. Let your feet move if you're standing. Gentle rotation starting to look behind you. If you're sitting, plant your feet into the floor, start to let your hands hover over the knees. You can use the chair a little if you want to, sort of grabbing onto the sides of it, just to hold that rotation a little more. Maybe looking a little further behind. Take your head with the body. That's it. And then bring it back to the front. And then next, we're going to place our hands in a prayer position, thumbs just touching here. And we're just going to rotate and let the body move as a whole. So I'm letting my knees move. That's it. If I was sitting, you'll see my knees move a little bit here. My feet come up and down just to ease it off, so I'm not straining down too much, just keeping it soft in the legs, almost like the legs are still marching. And my thumb is just resting there on my chest. And then take your hands forwards like that. Can you see how it looks from the side? This time we're going to keep this part of our body still. Press those feet into the ground. Same if you're sitting. Press your feet, press your bottom, your sitting bones into the chair. Take your shoulders back. Don't need them like this. Bring them back like that. Small twist. Now, if you've got osteoporosis or spinal issues, particularly degenerative issues, it's good to make this small like this. It doesn't need to be a big twist. So you might be going super small. That's just like that, really small rotation. That's a safe range of movement. If you haven't got those sort of spinal issues, you might take it a little bigger, but you're still keeping that bottom part of the body. It's like the two parts of the body are completely separate. Last one coming up. Well done. Right, next, something a little bit bigger and more expansive. So place your hands together again, and then we're going to circle them outwards. Breathe in at this point. Breathe out as they come round, really stretching. Now, if your hands are only going this high, or you've got one hand that won't move very far, you might be doing it more like this, so it's not symmetrical. That's fine. If you want to start looking up, that would be nice. Show you from the side. Just letting your eyes follow your thumbs. And then let's reverse it. So taking it back, and then let your head have a little bow over as your hands come together. Breathing in here, breathing out here. Taking care not to knock anything off shelves or crash your arms into anything. Last one coming up. Oh. And then we're coming back to our feet. So we're going to go into a tree pose. I'm just standing back so you can see my feet. Taking this foot onto my toes, I'm just going to start pivoting my leg in and out. If I'm sitting, I can still do that same pivot. It's like I'm trying to put my heel to the inside of my calf. That's the one. But my toes stay on the ground. If you find going onto your toes hard, you can actually bring your heel up like that. So it's just, if I slide a little further back, there, like that. And then we're going to reach a point, we're going to hold it. Now, it might be if you're feeling wobbly that you want to stand next to something and you could hold it like that. You could keep your toe on the floor, that may help too. If you're not feeling so wobbly, you can come up higher on your leg. So I'm going to come up onto my calf. And just take your arms outwards, that helps. Gazing at something ahead, that helps too. So I'm looking at a little mark on the wall. And you can just hold it there. If you wobble it, that will be enough. If you're feeling pretty safe, you can try taking your arms up, overhead, tiny, tiny touch of the fingers. Done it? Bring them down. Bring that leg down, and it's the same on the other side. Now, if we're sitting, we're doing that pivot again. Just feeling that opening coming in the hip. So that leg is rotating. This bone here as it goes into the hip, it's rotating out each time. And then to a place where you can hold it. So it could be like this. You can extend your leg forwards, even rest your foot somewhere on the leg. Or it might be you want to hold to the side or have your toe on the floor if you're sitting. Even bring your legs in a bit more if that's more comfortable. Again, we're going to take the arms out. Now that may already be challenging. Pull in here. So that feeling again, like when you put your hand and it's cold, bringing those muscles in, tightening that belly. That's it. Feel nice and tall and long in your neck. And then if you want to challenge yourself a little more, just bring your fingers into touch. Ding. Feel that little touch. And then slowly taking it down. Well done. Right, we're going to go into a roll down. So if your spine is fairly happy, you can go into a classic roll down. And for this, just bring your chin in, rolling the head down the body, soft knees. You can stop at this point. Let the arms have a little dangle, let the head dangle down. Might be you going a little lower. And then when you're ready to come up, breathe in. And pull your belly towards your back. Feel the tightness pulling you up and unfurling like a fern. That's it, a bit of a shoulder roll. Now, if you're sitting down, that works the same way, just doing that tipping the head down the body. And you could rest here. You could widen the legs and just press the arms on the inside of the legs, coming all the way down to the floor and coming up. But you can also do this other variation. So sitting, this is if you've got low back issues or osteoporosis, you'd hinge forwards, nice and straight. So no arch here like that, pulling back so that's straight, tucking the bottom under. Keep tucking the bottom under. Keep tucking it under, and you can see the rest of that curve start spreading up my back. And then I'm upright again. If I'm standing, I sit back, just like wood. So it's a bit like an imaginary chair there. Tip the bottom, right under. Let that curve spread. Keep tipping the bottom under. Keep tipping under. My legs are pushing me up. That's it. We'll do a couple more. I'll do one of each. classic one. And then it's time to make your way down to the floor with your cushion. So I'm just going to move the chair in, adjust the camera, and I shall see you down there. There's no hurry, so don't worry. If you're not down there, I can't see. And it takes me a little while to get all my things down here as well. So we're lying on our backs. Cushion just at the side, can be under your head if you like. You can check your head position too. So when you're lying down, you want to be looking up at the ceiling. If you're like this, you definitely need a little cushion, maybe under your neck like that, and that might help. So just straighten you up so you like that rather than that. Legs are bent. Bring your feet and knees to touch. Take the heels out to the side, toes forward, palms are upwards. And we'll just concentrate on what's in touch with the surface beneath us. So the back of my head, I can feel that. Right across my shoulders. My back ribs, they're just about in touch with the floor. It gets a little lighter touch when I get to about this level, but they're still there. But when I get to this lumbar bit of spine, my low bit of spine, there's a tiny space. Now I can feel the difference when I tilt my pelvis. The pubic bones come up here, and you can see I've sort of gone down, like I've sunk into the floor. Now I can feel everything squished against the mat. But we're aiming to have that little space. I'm just going to roll my pelvis forwards a little bit. See the difference? That's the tilt. That's rolling away. You can just see the difference here, there. You can see my hand and jumper just going towards me and then just tipping away. So I'm going to keep that little space. Now there's the bones here, a bit of the sacrum, some of the pelvis and my feet. And that's how we're going to keep it. Arms, just going to keep them by my sides, palm up. Take a breath into the ribs and the back, just like we did at the beginning. As I breathe out, I'm going to get that feeling across my belly, like that cold hand. I'm going to slide a foot away and slide it back as I breathe in. Out as I breathe out. In as I breathe in. I think I've got that right. I'm getting confused. Yeah, out as I breathe out. In as I breathe in. That's easy to remember, isn't it? Sometimes I just get lost in the moment and get confused. Now whilst you're doing this, you're trying to keep this controlled here. That little space behind your back. Now we're going to add some arms into it. So let's pause, both legs bent. Take your arms up like this. There. And as, this is my left leg, as that goes away, my right arm's going to come back and this arm's going down. And then swapping over. That's it. And I'm trying to make it continuous, like there's only the slightest pause and then everything starts moving slowly. Now don't worry how far back your arms go. If your arms are just going here, that's okay. Or if they're just going here, that's okay as well. What you're trying to get is this control feeling here. So that's, bring my arms back up and start again, I think. That's constant. And your arms and legs are moving a bit like scissors. That's it. So although this looks very relaxing and calming, you can see that your arms and legs are relatively relaxed, but this area here is working like crazy. We'll have a little pause here. Just bring your hands in, give yourself a little wiggle. And then we're going to go back to it slightly different. This time, just the leg is just hovering off the floor. That's it. So your belly has to work a little harder. All these muscles here, muscles around your back. They're just working harder to control everything, to keep this little space, but to stop you arching like that or bulging out here, doing all that sort of thing, just keeping this nice and steady. So slightly different, the arms staying up, but this time we've got this hovering leg, hovering arm. Beautiful. 2 more. Bring your hands down, well done. Right, we're going to take it onto our front. This is where the cushion may come in. So we're going to lie flat down. Now you might like a little something under your forehead, like the edge of a cushion or a towel. I don't. I find that gets my neck a little bit. I like a cushion right under here because my back can get a bit tight. So I just tuck it right underneath there. So you can see I've got a bit of cushion. Legs are reaching long. That's it. And then forehead touching down here. Arms to the sides. Reach those legs long, but you don't need a tight bottom. Just long legs reaching away. So they're not just flopping or flopping that way. They're just reaching away. Hands are down by my sides. I can see them around where my eye level is, but quite wide. And I've got a nice straight long neck. Now I'm going to take that breath in here to those side ribs, and as I breathe out, I'm pulling into my belly, like I'm trying to pull my belly up. Doesn't feel like there's much happening, but I'm still working those muscles underneath the belly skin and the belly fat. The muscles right underneath are working. And then I'm going to push with my hands a little and take my head up. It's not much. And take it down. Just relax. Then lengthen those legs. Breathe in. As you're breathing out, just push lightly into your hands. Take your head up. Lovely. Now we're going to let the legs just flop. So they're still the same distance apart, but they're not engaged. Breath in. Breath out. Pulling into your belly. See, my back just straightens a little here. It's not as arched. And then pushing up. That's working into your back muscles a little bit more. Lightly pushing into the arms. You might even be able to take them off the floor. And then taking it down. One more like that. Lightly pushing into the hands and arms. View is just of the mat or whatever's beneath you. Legs nice and floppy. Hands might even come off the floor. And then take it down. You can bring your hands to the front for a little pillow. Give your bottom a little wiggle to the side. Just eases everything off. We can keep our hands up here now. We're just going to work on the legs. It's going to be a bit of a funny one, this one. You're going to feel like you're not doing anything, but you will also know that you are doing something. So we're going to reach those legs away and together. So I've tried to put them as close together as possible. Take a breath in. Watch that your shoulders aren't going right up here to your ears. Try and take them down. And then as you breathe out, you're trying to lift your legs off the floor, but I've stuck them down. So you're reaching them away, trying to lift them up, but they're glued down, all down your thighs, all down your shins. They're glued down all to your feet. So you're tightening them, imagining that you're trying to lift them up, but you can't. And then relax. Let everything wiggle. Take the legs a bit wider, have a little wiggle. That's where the cushion really helps. Right, legs together again. Resting forehead on your hands. Rolling the shoulders down, breath in. As you breathe out this time, pulling into your belly muscles, feeling your shoulders going down. Now see if you can lengthen those legs away and maybe lift them up. Doesn't need to be high. It's like you're trying to touch your toes on the opposite side of the wall. Keep your head down and then relax. Let everything flop. We'll do one more like that. Breath in. As you breathe out, squeeze those legs together, lengthen them even more, and then slowly just bring them up a little. You might have some of your thighs still on the floor. That's okay. Try and get your toes to the other side of the room. And then take it down. That was a long hold. Now we've two options to go into a rest position. You can, if you're happy going onto your knees, push back, wide legs, and push back all the way to a child position, which is like that. If your knees don't like that, instead of that, roll over and bring your legs in like this. So either way, it doesn't matter. You can see this is just the lying down your back version of child. Just have a little rock from side to side. That's it, little sway. And then take the arms overhead and just take them over to one side. You can hold the arm, the opposite arm, just for a greater stretch. The stretch is here. And if you're in child position, it would look like this. And then take them to the middle and bring them over to the other side. So this is the child position. And this is with your knees into your chest. You're just trying to get a bit of a stretch between these ribs. Oh, lovely. Right, now we're going to roll onto our sides and come up to sitting. And you sit in a comfortable position. Could be like this. Could be with your legs tucked in. Could be a mixture. Some people really like sitting to the side like this. I think I might do this one today. I like this position. And then we're going to take our arms up. So you're like in a big sort of aeroplane, and then just tip it over whilst pushing your bottom right onto the floor so your butt cheek doesn't come up like that. That's it. Again, that big side stretch. And then push over the other way. That's it. One more each side. And then we'll just round forwards, making a circle with our arms. Little bow of the head, a little bend of the mid and upper back. It can be really super gentle like that, or it can be a little lower. And then hands back behind you. Just push behind you. Look up slightly. And then bring your arms either side. Turn your palms out. Take a breath in. Have a little look at your hands. In they come. Breathe out. Well done. I'll see you again next week. Thank you so much. I'll look out for any comments.